Welcome back to the channel, folks. Every now and then, after I've sunk a large amount of my time playing one game or one particular genre of games, I need a palate cleanser to shake things up. Something that give me a break and unwind before I jump into the next 60 hours or more RPG. This time around, I've gone with Total Overdose, A Gunslinger's Tale in Mexico. A third-person shooter released back in 2005, the game was developed by Deadline Games and published by Eidos Interactive. Take the slow-motion shooting mechanics of Max Payne and an open-world sandbox akin to GTA, add a generous dash of the over-the-top storytelling found in action movies like Bad Boys or Desperado, and mix it all into a blender. The resulting smoothie is Total Overdose, a game that doesn't come close to its inspirations but is still a surprisingly good experience. Not just good, but refreshing too. It's been a while since I played something that didn't take itself so serious, and was perfectly fine just being a dumb, over-the-top action game. Unlike what I usually cover, I don't have any nostalgia attached to Total Overdose. Honestly, I didn't even know of its existence until maybe a few years ago, when I saw another YouTuber review it. What I saw was enough to sell me on the game, and I bought it for like $5 on GOG. Of course, like every game I impulsively buy during a sale, it sat in my backlog for years till I actually got around to playing it. So let's see what makes the game that can affectionately be referred to as Mexican Max Payne a fun and memorable experience.
Job done, pal.
Impressive, Ernesto. Incredibly destructive, but impressive. Now get the Papa Muerte files out unseen.
Unseen? Me?
Just try and be restrained, just this one. There's a telegraph line from the top of the pyramid to the jungle landing strip. We'll be waiting for you there.
In Total Overdose, we play as Ernesto Cruz, a deep-cover DEA agent investigating the mysterious Papa Muerte.
Papa Muerte thanks you for your hard work.
Scratch that. We're actually playing his son, Tommy Cruz, a high-ranking DEA agent attempting to infiltrate the Morales cartel and uncover the truth about his father's death. Okay, never mind. We're actually playing as Tommy's twin brother, Ramiro Cruz, or just Ram. Due to all the work he and his fellow agents accomplished during their investigation, Tommy didn't want it all to go to waste, so he arranged for his brother to be released from jail, and in exchange would take his place infiltrating the Morales cartel. Ram isn't all too thrilled to be working with his brother, and doesn't seem all that interested in investigating his father's death either. I'll be honest, Ram isn't the most compelling or likable of video game protagonists. He's the cowboy cop trope you've seen hundreds of times before, minus any real redeeming qualities. His character design isn't all that great, and looks like it would be the character model for a generic skater in a Tony Hawk game. Even his name, Ram, is kinda lame, and I was debating just calling him Ramiro instead. Still, I didn't hate him, or find him insufferable. Hell, sometimes I actually thought he was funny. Ram works as the lead of an over-the-top action game. He's just too shallow to really outright hate. He actually reminds me a lot of Nick King from True Crime Streets of LA. Come to think of it, a lot about Total Overdose reminds me of that game. Due to the meteoric success of the Grand Theft Auto series, any game in its genre would need to adopt its open-world sandbox design if they wanted to compete. Total Overdose is no different, with its world set in the fictional city of Los Toros, Mexico. However, its open world kinda sucks, and feels like it was haphazardly slapped together late in development. For one, it's not a large, seamless world, as the map is separated into different areas that have you pass through a loading screen when moving from one part of the map to the other. While the loading times for the PC version are brief, or at least they are now in 2024 with more powerful computers, they were quite long on the original console releases. Total Overdose also lacks an in-game map or a mini-map that shows you what street you're on, or what part of Los Toros you're in. Instead, it's a compass that shows the locations of missions around you, and during a level, the location of your enemies and your next objective. Outside of the story and challenge missions, there isn't much to actually do in Los Toros. It lacks weapon shops, clothing stores, or car dealerships. There are collectibles to find that can increase your health, stamina, weapon skill, and global score, but they're just haphazardly thrown around everywhere. There's no real thought into hiding them or encouraging the player to explore, and in the case of the global score increase, feel lazily designed, as it's just a floating purple number sitting above an object or building, which sticks out like a sore thumb in comparison to the other collectibles. There are some flaming skulls and luchador glove icons scattered around too, that basically function like rampages in GTA. The skull activates a 30-second minigame called Day of the Dead. That has you killing Mexican zombies, while the glove turns you into a luchador to kill other luchadors for 30 seconds, with the amount of kills you get before time runs out earning you extra weapons, ammo, or points. Oh, and there's stunt ramps you can drive cars off of. And that's it. Though the smoking gun that proves that this open world was just thrown in is the fact that you don't have to drive to a mission location in order to start it. You can just bring up the start menu, go to the mission list, choose said mission, and it will instantly transport you to where the mission begins. Add in the fact you can earn upgrades just by doing story and challenge missions. There's no real reason to run around Los Toros. Honestly, I think it would have been better if the game was strictly linear like Max Payne, and cut out the open world entirely, as the individual level design for missions is actually pretty good, and could have easily carried the game. Shooting in Total Overdose is more arcade-based and reminds me a lot of how True Crime Streets of LA did its shooting. When engaged in combat, you'll instantly lock on to the nearest enemy, which is indicated by a red reticle. Mash or hold down the fire button and you'll mow down everyone in your path. If you want to go for headshots, you have to hold down the alternate fire button and wait for the red reticle to shrink and turn yellow around someone's head. Let go of the alternate fire button at just the right moment and you'll nail a headshot for an instant kill and a points bonus. It can be awkward to pull off, as the window to do it is small and not every gun can pull off a headshot. It's better to go for it when using a kill move to slow down the action. Referred to as kill moves, Total Overdose makes heavy use of the same bullet time gameplay you see in Max Payne. However, it cranks up the slow motion acrobatics to 11, as outside the standard shoot dodge you see in Max Payne, Ram can also spin flip and bounce off of walls while shooting. It's not just there to look cool either, as getting kills while pulling off these moves will increase your combo score. Killing enemies with different kill moves, different weapons, or by blowing up red barrels will add to your score, with a combo multiplier added for each enemy you kill before the combo meter runs out. Your points accumulated during combos will go towards your total mission score at the end of a level, earning you rewards like weapon skill points to receive upgrades for your guns, the ability to carry more ammo for a certain weapon type, life points that increase your max health, stamina points that increase your max stamina, and a few other things. As you rack up consecutive kills during a combo, you'll get back health and earn loco moves to use. And oh man, loco moves are easily the best part of this game. Functioning as super moves you can store and use whenever, these abilities can come in a pinch to clear out your enemies fast. First is the Golden Gun, which locks on and one-shots up to 4 enemies while it's active. Next is Tornado, where Ram will spin around while spraying machine gun fire, hitting any enemy within range and that isn't behind cover. Then there's El Toro, which has you running around and crashing into enemies, making you invulnerable while it's active. Probably my least favorite of the loco moves, since Ram is constantly moving, it is hard to redirect into enemies, and because you can't cancel out of it. So you're stuck watching him run around until it finally runs out. Next is my favorite of all the loco moves, El Mariachi, which gives you 2 machine gun guitar cases that destroy anyone in your way. While awesome, and a bit overpowered if I'm being honest, if the game was going to give us a weapon from Robert Rodriguez's Mexico trilogy of movies, I would have preferred the guitar case missile launcher from Desperado, especially if Ram took the same badass pose that Kino does in the movie. Then there's the explosive piñata that will attract enemies to it before blowing them to smithereens. And finally, the Sombrero of Death and the Mad Luchador, which summons a sombrero-wearing Day of the Dead guy and a luchador respectively who will fight alongside Ram for a limited time. Loco moves make shootouts way more fun, though they trivialize what's already a very easy game. Realistically, most of your deaths will probably be cheap ones from explosives you didn't notice, or from fall damage when knocked off a building or railing. There's also one more ability you're given called Rewind, which turns back time and lets you undo the last few seconds of gameplay, or undo your death and give you some extra health. Rewind is essentially used as a continue since this game doesn't use a traditional checkpoint system during levels. Instead, you can find glowing blue spots where you can manually save instead. The slow motion acrobatics, the supercharged loco moves, and a massive arsenal of firearms at your disposal makes the shooting in Total Overdose a blast that never gets boring, even if the game is super easy. Oh, and before I get into my usual level-by-level story breakdown, I gotta praise this game's soundtrack. Mostly made up of Latin hip-hop and rock tracks from the bands Delinquent Habits and Molotov, the music perfectly captures the atmosphere of a Latino gang movie. with the game's main theme, Return of the Dress, being an absolute banger. Unfortunately, every piece of music in this game is copyrighted, so I had to substitute the background music in this video with something else. Also, I'll be playing less cutscenes than I usually do for that exact reason.
Con alegría, con alegría.
After a brief prologue where you play as Ernesto, and then Tommy, the game properly kicks off when Ram arrives in Los Toros. His first order of business is to meet with his brother's contact in the Mexican secret police, Mr. Mendez, who will provide Ram with some firepower. On the way there, you can hit up Pistoleros Asociados, which serves as the game's optional tutorial/training ground, in order to learn the mechanics of the game. Speaking to Mendez at the local burger joint, he'll get Ram hooked up and then drive him to his first assignment. He needs to enter a bar called El Macho, and look for a guy called the Rat, real name Marco. After being slapped by some random chick who thinks Ram is Tommy, Marco will come running outside with the Virgilio gang chasing after him. Cue an escort mission as you need to protect Marco and help him get to his tow truck a few blocks away in a parking garage. Though it's a really easy escort mission, as he keeps moving and can protect himself. That and most enemies will aggro to Ram if he's running in front of Marco. Escaping the Virgilios and returning to Marco's junkyard, he promises to introduce Ram to his boss, after he's eaten and had a siesta. The next story mission won't be available yet, as you'll need to do a points challenge mission first to unlock it. While you have to do at least one point challenge in between each story mission, most are thankfully brief, and you have your choice of which one to do out of the available challenges. There's a decent variety of them too, like blowing up burrito stands to find drugs, killing drug dealers, racing around the junkyard, or playing Shenmue. That and challenges will reward you with points towards health, stamina, and weapon upgrades, so it is worth doing a few of them. Now let's go meet Marco's boss.
So, this is the man I keep hearing about, huh? I would shake your hand, but mine is covered in blood.
I'm a vegetarian.
The funny Americano. But us Mexicano boys are not impressed with talk, only action. You really want to prove yourself to me?
I guess. I got nothing better to do.
The big guy in the yellow suit is the head of the Morales cartel, Cesar Morales. He doesn't take kindly to the Virgilios stirring up trouble in his city and disrespecting him. So he tasks Ram with sending a message, first by destroying the fertilizer towers on their farm, and second by stealing their prized car. Now this level is long, and starts with Ram being dropped off at the gas station, where Tommy blew himself up during his introduction. After clearing out the gas station, you'll have to follow the dirt path behind it in order to reach the Virgilios farm. While you could just huff it there on foot, it's smarter to steal a car from the gas station instead. Driving isn't all that great in Total Overdose, as cars feel rather slippery, and don't handle turning very well either. Like the open world, I get the feeling it was also tacked on, as there aren't many missions that require you to drive for extended periods of time. If anything, you'll probably end up using cars more as improvised battering rams. Referred to as an exit vehicle stunt, once you've built up enough speed, you can hang out the side of your car before bailing at the last minute, watching your ride smash into a barricade or another object, and then explode, which gets a bit of mileage here on the farm. This place is huge, with the 4 fertilizer tanks that need to be destroyed being spread out pretty far from each other. Destroying the tanks is fairly simple. Either you ram a car into one for a lot of damage, make use of explosives dropped by enemies guarding them, or use a loco move like El Mariachi. Actually reaching a few of these tanks can be a bit confusing, as a couple are located behind locked gates that need you to look for an alternate route. If you're paying attention, you'll spot a zip line that gets you past the gate, so you just need to follow it to its origin, and then zoom into the tank. It's a fairly simple mission, but I do like that the game is taking advantage of this level's large size to get the player to explore and figure out how to reach some of the tanks. Though it probably could have been shrunk down a little bit, as if you don't find a car, it feels like such a slog to walk to the farther tanks. Once all 4 are blown up, Ram needs to head to the fertilizer tower they were all attached to, and give it a little nudge to topple it over. Now having access to the Virgilio's main farmhouse, Ram will have to shoot his way through and find the key to their prized car, which is in the possession of one of the gang's leaders, Joe Virgilio.
Everybody be cool. This is a robbery.
Just shut up!
I forgot to mention it, but Tommy will be Ram's voice over the radio for the majority of the game, telling him his objectives and occasionally snarking on the dumb shit his brother does or says. A bit of their banter is actually kind of funny, and I like that no one thinks Ram is as badass as he thinks he is. After dropping Joe and looting his corpse for his car keys, Ram just needs to get out of there without destroying the car, which, due to its poor handling and several roadblocks, is easier said than done. There was this one roadblock of exploding barrels and cars I'm pretty sure I was supposed to drive around here on the left, but I always ended up swerving into the enemies and dying instead. So instead of driving through, I just parked the car, set off the barrels with my guns, and killed them all instead. Boring, but effective. Man, getting this car better have been worth it.
Excelente. Virgilio's car.
I'm so glad I risked my ass for that car.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Ram. Having won Cesar Morales' respect, Ram will meet up with his enforcer Angel at the shipping docks for his next assignment. He needs to boost 3 trailer trucks from the Virgilios and bring them back outside to Angel and her men, so they can be used to move a huge shipment of coke. It's another huge level made up of the shipping yard, a warehouse, and a container ship. The first truck is fairly easy to get to, and can be driven to Angel without much hassle, outside of killing the guys defending it. The second truck is on the container ship and requires Ram to board it, reach the control room to activate the crane's controls to move the truck off of it, and finally just drive it out of there. The final truck is inside the warehouse and requires a little more work as it's boxed in by some shipping containers. First, you have to reach the top of the warehouse to activate a bridge, then cross said bridge to reach the crane controls to move the container, and finally head back down below to steal the truck. While Angel is impressed with Ram's performance, he's still got one last thing to do. Morales wants that container ship sunk, so hopping into a van full of dynamite, Ram will need to park it in a shipping container, get back on the ship to load it on board, and then run like hell before it detonates. Afterwards, Ram will speak to his brother Tommy as he's briefed on the next part of the DEA's plan. They want Ram to stick close to the trucks he stole, as a special assault team led by Agents Pearson and Johnson will move in to capture Cesar Morales and his men when they attempt to move his product. Sounds like a good plan, just as long as no one overheard Ram speaking to his brother and tips off Morales about it. The following mission has Ram first act as an escort for the trucks, and to protect them from the Virgilios. Afterwards, he'll sneak on top of a truck and be led to a factory where Morales is keeping his drugs. Finally, he'll need to reach the controls for the main gate in order to let the assault team inside. But uh-oh, it's a setup.
Go, 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 go!
Hi, Ram. Nice to see you. Good job. We'll have you out of here and back in L.A. in no time.
I'll take my men around the side entrance. Secure the area.
Secure this DEA scout.
Rest in peace, Agent Pearson. With Ram's cover blown, he'll have to shoot his way out of the meatpacking factory, and once outside, use an assembly line to escape the compound. Angel will pull up to give him a ride, leading into a short on-rails turret section before the pair finally escape. Turns out Angel wasn't the one who tipped off Cesar Morales about the DEA, as she was actually an undercover Mexican police officer this whole time. Back at her place, she tells Ram to head to El Macho, and offer his services to the Virgilio kingpins who are there discussing their plans on how to strike at Morales. Honestly, I'm not sure why they would work with Ram, as he kills a good chunk of their forces before actually reaching them, but I guess they hate Cesar Morales so much they're willing to look the other way. Ram learns that Morales is actually a puppet for someone else and is keeping some important documents at his headquarters. This is also when I learned that this game has a taxi fast travel system, which I was going to dismiss as pointless, but if you wanted to go to a part of the map without having to immediately start a challenge mission, it is more convenient than using the pause menu. Heading to Morales' HQ, which is a bullfighting arena, Ram will chase Cesar all over the arena, killing his goons along the way until it reaches the main bull ring.
falling right into a trap. Your biggest problem is that you got big cojones, but nothing in your brain.
I think Freud would have had something to say about your obsession with my big cojones.
Enough talk. Say hello to my balls. I mean bulls.
I was kinda expecting to fight an actual bull here as a boss, not a bunch of luchadors wielding planks of wood with nails in them. I guess since this game is a comedic action game, they were worried you'd be too dark, especially with how controversial real-life bullfighting is. Or they just didn't want to put in the effort in creating a new model for a one-time enemy. It's probably that one. Oh, and Tornado makes this whole encounter a joke since you can take out like 8 guys at once when using it. Cornering Cesar Morales in his office, it's time for a one-on-one boss battle. Despite the cramped conditions and the lack of cover, this fight is stupidly easy because of the shoot dodge. While he fumbles to get 2 shots off from his pistols and shotguns, you can easily unload hundreds of bullets into him. Grabbing the keys off his corpse, Ram will unlock Cesar's safe but discover it's booby-trapped with a bomb. Failing to disarm it and setting off a countdown timer, he'll nab the envelope in the safe, hop onto a conveniently placed motorcycle, and like a 90s action movie star, escape just as the whole place blows up. Hell yeah. Returning to Angel's place, she and Ram discover the envelope contains a letter written by Papa Muerte, the mysterious drug lord his dad was investigating. Addressed to Cesar, he warns him about the DEA bust and that he was tipped off by the traitor he has working for the DEA. Papa Muerte instructs him to visit an associate of theirs called Elvis, to get his hands on the equipment needed to take out the feds. Elvis is Ram's next target and runs a car dealership in town. Heading to his place of business, we don't find him but do discover some empty weapon cases, and sketches detailing specialized coffins with secret compartments built into them. Talking to our contact Marco, he says Elvis is currently staying on his private island, and he'll get his hands on a speedboat so Ram can reach the place and quietly sneak in. Or as quiet as someone could be by launching a speedboat off a ramp and landing into Elvis's pool. Unfortunately, Ram landed on the wrong side of the guy's estate, and needed to take the long way around to reach him, which means going through the pool area, through the garden, and down to the sea where an enclave houses an elevator that leads up to Elvis's mansion. Ram will also discover the bodies of the DEA agents who were killed before, stored in coffins bound for the US. Wonder what that's about. Confronting Elvis about it and threatening to shoot his dick off if he doesn't cooperate, he spills the beans that Papa Muerte asked him to build the coffins for some unknown purpose, explaining that a Colonel Montañez was going to deliver his payment when he was done. Just as Ram is about to leave, Elvis and his girls will attack him, triggering a boss fight. Even with all the girls helping him, this fight with Elvis is whatever. But when he dies, the game suddenly starts playing El Rey by Vicente Fernandez. And if you're a Latino like me, you probably know who he is and can instantly hear that song even if I'm not playing it. Like, it makes perfect sense for a game set in Mexico to be playing his music. It just caught me off guard since it's been mostly Molotov and Delinquent Habits playing through most missions. I enjoy his music, don't get me wrong, but it's what my parents and older Latinos would listen to, not necessarily the target audience for this game. So yeah, just really unexpected, especially since this is a game aimed at an American audience, made by a Danish studio. Escaping Elvis's estate, Ram finds the bridge leading back to Los Toros blocked by the Mexican military, on the orders of General Montañez. They're barely an obstacle though, as it was pretty easy to cut through them to reach the bridge controls and lower it enough to escape by car. We still have to deal with the General though, with the next mission having Ram infiltrate his headquarters deep in the jungle, taking us back to the level where we briefly played as his dad at the beginning, though there's much more to explore this time around. The game takes a slight bump in difficulty too, due to the Mexican military being a little more durable, using stronger guns, and attacking from all directions in these wider areas, or attacking you in these smaller areas and stairways inside the pyramid. Ram's main mission is to steal the General's secret data and use his satellite to beam it back to the DEA. Reaching the pyramid, he first has to go down below and turn on the power to the satellite dish, and then head back up to upload the data. Then Ram just needs to escape the pyramid, fight through the jungle, reach the extraction site, and clear it of anti-aircraft guns so Marco can land his plane and pick up Ram. Oh, and somewhere during all that, we killed General Montañez. This whole fight through the jungle was pretty intense, I'm not gonna lie. The General just wasn't really all that special compared to everything else. Returning to Angel's place, she's nowhere to be seen, and all Ram finds is an ambush waiting for him. Meanwhile, back at the DEA office, Tommy and his boss, General Trust, discover that Papa Muerte has cooked up a plan to attack their building. Using the coffins he had Elvis make and the bodies of the dead DEA agents, He's going to sneak his men in on a train through a secret tunnel that leads to the building. His plan? To steal back the coke the feds confiscated and are sitting on in order to sell it himself. Tommy and Trust don't get time to prepare, as Papa Muerte's informant is one step ahead of them. And the traitor was Agent Johnson all along.
It's game over, Colonel Trust. And don't count on your brother to make a last-minute rescue cruise. That's one cat all out of lives.
You might also be interested to hear
That we made plenty of fur fly when we dragged that Mexican bitch off the streets by her cute little tail. And as for you two gentlemen here, oh, we got plenty of fun in store for you too.
Don't do this, Johnson. I tell you, you are gonna
Despite this game barely having a story, this actually is a pretty good reveal. The game has been dropping small hints that Agent Johnson was the traitor. If we go back to the cutscene that plays after Ram is done at the shipyard, you'll notice that Agent Johnson is in the room when Tommy's discussing the ambush plan. Then, during the ambush at the factory, he conveniently disappears just as Cesar Morales attacks the DEA and kills Agent Pearson. And later, when Ram stumbles onto the coffins, he spots Pearson's body and only mentions finding Johnson's jacket. The game technically gave away the reveal of who killed Ernesto Cruz, as while we don't see who pushed him out of the airplane, we do hear their voice, and it's a dead ringer for Agent Johnson. Not bad, Total Overdose. Not bad. Though Johnson staging the deaths of Tommy and Trust as an overdose seems pretty stupid. I was ready to call the attack on the DEA in general stupid, but Papa Muerte's plan hinges on the fact that the DEA would never admit they resell coke taken from drug cartels in order to fund their secret wars. Which, yeah, he's probably right, and this whole thing would get covered up. And considering Johnson faked his death already, it seems pointless to kill them with an overdose and not just shoot them instead. Especially since plenty of feds get killed during the attack, and these two could easily be set up as casualties. Reminds me of Nicole Horn trying to kill Max Payne with an overdose of Valkyr, instead of just shooting him when she had him outnumbered. Wait a second. Both games feature bullet time shooting. Both games have our lead infiltrate a criminal organization to investigate the death of their loved ones, before stumbling onto a bigger conspiracy. Both games have love interests who have little screen time and don't contribute much to the plot. And both games have a villain trying to kill someone by staging their death as an overdose. Total Overdose really is Mexican Max Payne. Huh. Going back to Ram, he now needs to race across the border to the DEA office to save his brother and pump him full of adrenaline before he dies. Unfortunately, the border crossing has been locked down, so he'll have to shoot his way back into America. Presumably those border patrol agents are working for Papa Muerte, and aren't innocent men trying to stop a dangerous man from entering the country. After a quick drive, Ram will arrive at the DEA office, with most of the good guys already taken out by Agent Johnson's forces. He also runs into the most despicable of all enemy types, the riot shield user. After finding the adrenaline and saving Tommy and Trust, Ram's work still isn't over, as the whole building has been rigged to explode. Oh, and Agent Johnson has kidnapped Angel. Taking an elevator down below to some secret basement area. This place is absolutely huge and swarming with an almost endless amount of enemies, who are just coming at you from all angles. Still not very hard, mind you, but you're going to be spamming your loco moves to clear them out fast. Also, more riot shield users pop up. It comes to an end with Ram finding the bomb, picking it up with a forklift, and then dropping it onto a train platform before it blows.
Ram, you need to open the sliding door and move the bomb to the train before you leave.
God damn it, Tommy. You could have told me about the sliding door earlier. Reloading and getting the bomb on the train, Ram drives out of the building and follows Agent Johnson and Angel. This brings us to a good old train level, that while I liked for the most part, I did run into a bug when I tried to use Tornado. It failed to go off and Ram was unable to shoot or interact with anything around him. Something that stuck around even if I used Rewind. So I had to reload the level to fix it. Nothing major, but I figured I should bring it up. Catching up to Agent Johnson, he disconnects his part of the train before Ram can take him down and save Angel. Making things worse, fighter jets sent out by the feds have destroyed a bridge crossing up ahead. We got ourselves a Back to the Future 3 situation on our hands. But how is Ram going to catch up to Johnson and save Angel before the train plummets over the edge? He'll need a conveniently placed motorcycle to save the day. Oh, hell yeah. So, this final level kinda sucks, I'm not gonna lie. The motorcycle handles like ass, and trying to avoid Johnson's turret fire is going to cause you to swerve wildly out of control. So you either crash and lose him, or fall off a cliff and die. Oh, and you're on a time limit, so if you're too slow taking out the turret, say goodbye to Angel. I just ended up brute forcing it by burning through my full stock of rewinds, which would return some of my health but keep the damage I did to the train. Once Agent Johnson explodes along with his turret, Ram will save Angel, and the two will drive into the sunset, happily ever after.
Spread your wings, Angel. It's time to fly or die. If we don't make it, I want you to know you are gorgeous. And if we do make it, forget I ever did that.
Gracias, Ramito. That was breathtaking. I didn't know you had it in you. Risky, but very exciting.
What, the jump or?
Both, idiota.
And that was Total Overdose, a gunslinger's tale in Mexico. Now we got one last bit of business to talk about before I get into my usual closing thoughts and outro. As while this game unfortunately didn't get a sequel, as Total Overdose 2 Tequila Gun Rising was cancelled when Eidos backed out of funding the game, we would still get something. A spin-off / pseudo remake on the PSP called Chili Con Carnage. Starring Ramiro Cruz again, this game's story is an alternate retelling of the first game. Ram isn't a former criminal working for the DEA, and instead he's just trying to avenge his dad's death after he's assassinated by someone driving a combine harvester. Well, okay then. His twin brother Tommy is nowhere to be seen, and Marco the Rat is now his uncle. Chili Con Carnage is way more comedic and cartoonish compared to the original. It's also more streamlined as it removes the open world completely and is level-based instead, with the option to do challenges in between story missions. While the combat is effectively the same, the aiming is a bit wonky since it was designed around the PSP's solo analog nub, though headshots were much easier to pull off. The game also nerfs the loco moves, as you can only carry one at a time as opposed to keeping a stock of each one you can switch between. It does add more traditional boss fights though, with the first one being against the person who killed Ram's dad, Mama Virgilio, matriarch of the family who specializes in fighting with exploding chickens. She can also use the Fus Roda to send Ram flying, can block bullets with her meat cleaver, and can use said cleaver as a boomerang, which creates a window where she can be hurt. I'm not going to go through the whole game, even if it's only a couple hours in length, but I really dig what they did here. You can play as other characters in challenge maps, and it even has multiplayer. Chili Con Carnage pretty much removed all the issues I had with the main title, and created a more streamlined and arcade experience. I don't even mind that it's more comedic either. I'll take it, it's fun. Man, maybe I should get around to checking out other PSP spin-off games, like Gangs of London or the PSP version of Scarface The World Is Yours. I'm not sure which I would rank over the other, but Chili Con Carnage definitely has its merits and I think it's worth checking out. Going back to Total Overdose, what did I think? Well, I really loved my time with it. The game isn't a masterpiece by any means, but I think it's a solid 7 out of 10 game. The shooting is excellent, the extra bullet time moves are fun, and the various loco moves give you lots of options to take out enemies. The story and characters are whatever. I could see a bigger studio try to play this undercover revenge plot completely straight, but I'm glad they didn't. Sometimes all you want is a big dumb action story that runs on the rule of cool. I brought it up at the beginning of the video, but sometimes you just want a video game that plays like a video game. A short and fun experience to play during the weekend or to give you a break from the bigger games you normally play. With everything I just said, plus this game's amazing soundtrack, Total Overdose has just won itself another fan. While I think Chili Con Carnage is more my thing, I could see myself returning to this game every now and then, when I just want to unwind, turn off my brain, and have some fun. And that's the video. Shout out to today's sponsor, War Thunder. Make sure to check out War Thunder now for free on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox. New players or returning players that haven't played in 6 months will receive a huge bonus pack across all platforms. That includes multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of premium account access. And use my link in the pinned comment or video description to register. Thanks for watching, folks. and thanks to my Tier 2 channel members with their names displayed here on the screen. If you saw my community tab, you know I already announced the next 2 videos, which will be on Manhunt 2 and then Godfather 2. I usually stick to announcing one video ahead of time, if only because sometimes my ideas change, or something IRL screws up my schedule and I have to move future videos around. But since I'm trying to commit to a more consistent upload schedule, I figured announcing my plans for the month is a good way to help me buckle down and get shit done. Also, letting you all know what games I'm covering in the coming weeks is a good way to generate some excitement. That, and I think I'm going to do more polls on what games you guys want to see me cover next, and to hear your recommendations in general. I'm finally getting around to improving the membership tiers for the channel too, but I'll make a more formal announcement once those changes go into effect. Not much else going on at the moment. I really wish the weather around here would commit to staying warm already. We get sun one day, and then strong winds and tons of rain non-stop afterwards. Once it stays consistent, I would love to start going out more often and taking some breaks from working. Finally beat Persona 3 Reload, and I have to say I really enjoyed my time with it. I never played the original versions, so I have no idea what's been changed or how it measured up to them, but I still liked it. Persona 4 Golden is still probably my favorite of the Persona series, and god do I want to make a video on it. But with my review style, it would be insanely long. So I'd have to figure out how to do it in a smart way that feels like my usual videos. I think I'm going to do another GTA compilation video soon, this time mashing up all the portable games into a several hours long video for those who need something to fall asleep to. With Manhunt 2 out of the way, I'll finally be able to move over to Red Dead Redemption, which I've been dying to cover ever since I did GTA 5. So that'll probably be the next really big video for the channel. While I'm going to be sticking to my usual content for the next batch of videos, I think every now and then I'll be doing something slightly different. I mentioned it earlier, but I kinda want to take a look at the PSP versions of certain games like Scarface, where it's radically different compared to the console version. Those individual games probably wouldn't be enough for a full-length video, so I might make a bigger video covering several games at once. Let me know what you guys think about that, and if you have any suggestions for PSP spin-off games to check out. Again, thanks for watching, folks. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and comment down below. Have you ever played Total Overdose? Are there any games like it you would recommend? Leave your thoughts down below. And if you're new to the channel, I'd love it if you subscribed. Check out the recommended video here at the end, or my playlist containing all my videos on the GTA series. I'm FuzzySlippers, and I'll see you later. Peace.